Okay, what a perfect segue. We went from pop-ups, brick and mortar and all that, and now we're gonna go to the metaverse. Whatever that means, we're gonna completely go from here to there. So I wanna introduce Oliver. I'm gonna give him my best shot. Moingeon, how'd I do? Where'd I go? Where's Oliver? Here he is. Oliver Moingeon is gonna talk about luxury in the metaverse. All right. Thank you.
Of course. Pleasure to be here. So I'm Olivier, Moingeon. Very difficult to pronounce. It's not your fault. No, that was good. That was good. So I've been in New York for 18 years. I spent my entire career in luxury. 11 years at Cartier. Then I was managing director of Goyard. I opened a store on 63rd and pretty much every store in the country. Then I was CEO of Bastide, which is a French beauty brand owned by Frédéric Fécaille. And after 18 years in luxury, in retail, I made a move to Web3. And I'm one of the co-founders of Exclusible, which is an NFT marketplace for luxury brands. And we also do Metaverse activations. We're a young startup. We're only 8 months old. But I'm going to show you it's been quite a ride so far, and it's an incredible moment to be part of Web3. So before we begin, I was just curious to ask, who owns NFTs here? If you can raise your hand. Yeah, but now everybody's going to raise their hand. Other than the one that you just got, yeah. Good point. Okay, and who has been inside any type of metaverse? Which one?
It was my son's. He showed me.
Okay.
He goes, put these on.
Okay, so with the VR.
Yes.
Yeah, goggles. So I don't know, like Sandbox, Decentraland, yes? Sandbox. Okay, cool. And Decentraland, anyone has been into their fashion week? Yeah, cool. Okay, so it's a very, very small amount of people who have any type of experience with the metaverse. Cool. So the objective is that I'm going to show you a few slides, tell you what we do, and then leave room for Q&As, because that's the most important thing. You probably have tons of questions. All right, so very important. Right now, we are witnessing, we are in the third version of the internet, Web3. The easiest way to understand it, Web 1 in the 90s, it's when you could read content, so you consume content. Web 2 came along in like 2004, 2005 with the beginning of social media, where all of a sudden we all became content creators, okay? And you could go on a platform and you create content on that platform. Now, in the 2020s, thanks to blockchain technology and decentralization, the ascent of gaming and all the different type of technologies, we are in Web 3. So you can still read, you can still create content, but for the first time, you can own digital assets. And you can own them because they are registered as NFTs on the blockchain. And NFT, it's nothing else than the technology that allows you to own a file, which is registered on the blockchain forever, and you're the only person who owns that file. Okay, so it's a small detail, but it's very important because it gives rise to what we call virtual commerce, and virtual commerce powers the next phase of the internet, okay? So the metaverse, in that sense, it's many different things. The way we like to describe it, it's not necessarily like a space, it's more the time when we value our digital lives more than our physical lives. And we are already spending most of our times every day in some sort of metaverse. Social media, emails, Zooms, it's basically a way to interact, to have a social experience with others without being there physically. The video that you can see, it's another type of metaverse, which is powered by augmented reality. So it's a collaboration between Nike and Snapchat. So the person who is running in Brooklyn, she's wearing Snapchat augmented reality filters. And while she's having this physical, amazing experience of running, Nike added layers of digital, personalized, to her to enhance her physical experience. And you can see that there are like some encouragements, you can see some personal messages in the sky, and like the whole environment takes basically a new different shape and form, and it's different type of experience. So that's like a phygital metaverse, okay, or experience of the metaverse. So because here, of course, my focus is on brands, there are kind of like three big different types of applications of that technology for brands. One of them is how we dress the metaverse, okay? Then we have events, so you can create different type of experiences for people. And then, of course, you can have commerce on top of that. $13 trillion estimated market size of the metaverse. It's very big. Before that, a few months before, it was from Bloomberg, and it was 800 billions. So it's kind of in between, I assume. Still pretty big, you know. So again, to get back from a point of view of brands, so there are kind of three big applications for which the metaverse really matters: gaming, personalization, and then, of course, that whole digital economy. So if we look at gaming, it is the #1 source of entertainment in the world. I think it's like 2.8 billion people play video games every day. There's a very large spread amongst generations, also amongst gender. 45%, 46% of gamers are women. And the 44%, the last one that I really love, 44% of people who play video games actually play with people they know. It means the majority of people you game with, you don't know them. So it's like a social interaction on a platform with people you don't know, you've never met in the physical world. So there is this huge trend with gaming. Then you have another trend, is this concept of your identity, okay? Let's say that we are at the end of social media 1.0, okay, the first version in our lifetime of social media, where we're going away from beautiful, perfect lives projected to the world, and we're all trying to be the best versions of ourselves. It's very aesthetic. It's really about the way you express yourself, you show yourself to the world. 10 years later, we realize that it's actually, it creates a lot of anxiety, especially on the younger generation. It has a lot of negative effects, okay? And so we're entering this phase when it's not about show your face, it's more about show your taste. And the technology between NFTs and Metaverse and all these different platforms which are coming to life are basically allowing people to have a new identity. You express yourself differently. You can be anything you want. You can have avatars that are literally like, you can be anything you want. You don't even have to be a human. You can dress the way you want. You can act the way you want. You can really be a different version of yourself. And you can have the same type of experience or social interaction powered by all these different platforms. So of course, the Facebook, the Instagram, the WhatsApp of the world, but we have Snapchat. You also have Zepeto, which is, it's a big social media platform based on avatars. You have brands like Ralph Lauren, Christian Louboutin, who have developed collections for the avatars on these platforms. And they literally sell their collections for like, $5, $10, so you can dress your avatar. You've heard about Fortnite, Roblox, Minecraft. If you have children, most likely they play on these platforms, spend a lot of time. They ask you to buy them money, currency, Robux, That's the only thing they care about. That's the only thing they want. On Roblox, I think kids change their outfit. One child out of 5, one player out of 5 changes their outfit once a day. So it's this constant building of their digital closet, their digital identity. and interaction with millions, technically it's like millions of worlds, millions of players every single day. So your experience can be different every single day. Then the economy. The filter that I use all the time is to say, if you're trying to understand what's happening, it's not that complicated. There's nothing new, nothing that has not been done before. It follows exactly what we do in the real world. The way we transact, we do business, the way we interact with each other, it's made possible now in the digital sphere, and the experience gets richer and richer. So the same way that we buy products in the physical world, we're buying products in the digital world to dress our digital identities. We can have real estate. I'm going to show you that later. We can buy virtual real estate that has a whole value on its own with appreciation and some bear and bull markets. You can build stuff. You can build your stores, your experiences on the land that you own, and you can develop the same type of experiences that we have in the physical world. These are just a few, it's not all of them, the brands that have already entered the metaverse. It's very interesting for a lot of luxury brands. Very briefly, on that note, why is it interesting? Right now we're in the post-pandemic rebound, so everything is super, all the brands are doing well. There's a euphoria, people are shopping again, they want this experience, this luxury experience, they buy the luxury products. But the reality of the luxury landscape is that there is a store in pretty much every continent. Every primary, secondary, tertiary city already has boutiques. Wholesale is being, the footprint on the wholesale is being decreased by luxury brands because they take over the distribution directly. And e-commerce has accelerated so much during the pandemic that right now they're reaping the benefits of it. But in 3 to 5 years, what's going to happen? They will still need those double-digit growth year on year, knowing that every distribution channel will be saturated. Every communication channel is already saturated, and the cost of acquisitions are extremely high, as we just discussed. And so how do you grow, especially in the era of conscious consumerism, when people want to know where you produce your items, especially on the fashion side. They want to know your carbon footprint. They want to know what you do to basically offset your impact on the planet, and what are you doing for the communities and for the environment. So all of that together points to a future which is not dark, but knowing that they have to grow double digits year on year. How do you do that? It's going to be more and more difficult. The metaverse and Web3 offers a new opportunity for growth, and it's sustainable growth. If you take a physical item and you produce its equivalent in the digital world that you can wear in different platforms, it has a 97% less impact on the planet than the physical item. The new generation will spend money to buy products that do not exist. They're already doing it, and it will just increase, and there will be more and more adoption. As we move forward in time, blockchain bricks, the blockchain MetaMask, so the crypto wallets that you guys had to open to buy on OpenSea, all of these will disappear in the back end. We are all going to buy NFTs. We are all going to do some type of transactions on the blockchain without knowing it, because that's, the technology is going to be more and more seamless. The user journey is going to be better, and we are going to remove all the pain points and the obstacles that we have today in Web3. Okay, so when it comes to strategy, if you are wondering, okay, I have a brand, what can I do? I would like to participate in this hype, metaverse thing that everybody talks about. So first of all, there are dozens, if not hundreds, of metaverse, okay? And there are so many of them being built at the moment. It's always a question about, so first of all, why do you want to go into a metaverse? Do you value what we call, the essence of Web3, which is blockchain-based, decentralized. So it's the opposite of Facebook, for example, or the GAFA. So basically, it's blockchain based. So it means you own your data, you own the items, and it's decentralized. It means that it's not one big company that centralizes everything and owns your data. And it's multiplayer. You hang out with people from around the world. So that's the first question that you have to ask yourself. Is it what you want? And if that's what you want, as opposed to creating your own URL-based, non-blockchain-based experience, which is more of a virtual store as opposed to a blockchain decentralized metaverse, then it creates very committing decisions. Because the quality on those decentralized, blockchain-based metaverse, the quality of the experience is pretty low. Okay, so you've probably all heard about Decentraland or Sandbox. If you hang out in those places, you will probably be disappointed because it looks like video games from the early 2000s. Okay, so it's 3D based, but it's very low quality 3Ds. Why? Because you have the computational power needed to give you the experience of that immersive world while you have thousands of people in the space next to you, and each one of them needs to have the rendering of that 3D environment calculated live, streamlined to you. It requires a gigantic amount of power. Okay? And so that's why we're at the very early stages of the birth of all these metaverses. And the holy grail in metaverse is what we call photorealistic experience, where you have very high quality 3D with a multiplayer environment. So your experience is as good as mine, and it's a quality that's expected of luxury brand, if, again, we look at from the angle of luxury brands. So, okay, so now on us, Exclusible. So we started as like the Farfetch of NFTs, or the OpenSea for luxury. Our idea was to create a marketplace that offered brands a really good experience, much better than other marketplaces. But very quick, that was when Facebook was still called Facebook, okay, when we started working on Exclusible. Then Facebook changed to Meta. All of a sudden, every brand was talking about the metaverse without knowing what it meant. And so we accelerated our roadmap on the metaverse side. We bought $1.8 million of land on the Sandbox. We started being very active in Decentraland. We bought land in NFT Worlds, which is another metaverse. And we are now building a very big real estate drop in Spatial. That's our roadmap. So what we did, the first drop we did, we bought land in the Sandbox, and then we built 150 luxury villas. So that's what it looks like. And we sold them for 4 to 6 ETH, which is basically $12,000 to $20,000. And we sold out in 5 hours. And then we built 25 islands on the Sandbox, which we sold between 10 to 60 ETH, which is $35,000 to $250,000. We sold them to high net worth individuals. So we have 2 billionaires, 4 athletes, 1 supermodel. And so now they own their island in the metaverse. And yeah, now we're building luxury penthouse in a metaverse called Spatial, which is kind of like an alternative to Zoom. So you can have up to 50 people in there, and you can have video, you can literally run your meetings in there. So now we've been approached by a lot of corporations who want to buy one of our penthouse so they can have their corporate meetings or their company meetings in there. You can decorate also with your NFT collection on the wall. You can share your screen. You can see on the top right, it's our projection room. So you can share your screen and literally like put it displayed there. And you can use it with or without a VR headset. I was told that the experience is better with a VR headset. I haven't tried it yet. But I know like someone in our team tries every single metaverse you can think of, and he actually made friends in spatial. Like he hung out for an hour there in one of the worlds and exchanged numbers with someone, you know. So it works, yeah. So that's Decentraland. When I told you, like, you know, it's kind of like 20 years ago video games. So I guess that gives you an idea. We organize a lot of parties in Decentraland. We did one of their official party during the Fashion Week with Bob Sinclair, the famous DJ. And it's cool. You can, you know, like we develop a lot of wearables to dress yourself that you can win, you can buy. They are in your crypto wallet. So when you connect to Decentraland, you can connect Web 2, email password, or Web 3. You connect directly with your crypto wallet. It will read right away what items you have in your crypto wallet, and then it will give you the ability to basically dress your avatar with your digital closet. You know, we actually organized the first ever dance competition in the metaverse on Decentraland. So these are examples of the wearables that we do. So you can wear like your jacket, your hats, crowns, things like that. Then 2 last slides. So we also do a lot of NFT drops. So we did 8 drops so far. We have 6 more coming until the end of June. So we work with Bugatti, Hogan, which is part of Todd's group, Amedeo, he's right there, Louis Moinet as well, which is a heritage watch brand. And so we sell NFTs, we help them develop the collections, the concepts, and those NFTs they have digital utilities, physical utilities. We also have our own NFT collection, which is like a VIP membership pass that we sold back in October. We sold 3,000 NFTs in 48 hours for like $2.5 million. And now that was the foundation of our company, where we have now 1,200 VIP members who own our NFT, and they get benefits, rewards, and privileges to everything that we do. And that's my last slide. So we are basically becoming a brand, a Web3 brand, and that's a very interesting concept. You know, we always talked about brands, the 4 Ps, then it became kind of like the 4 Cs, you know, communication, curation, community, you know. And so then now the Web3 brand, it's a brand that basically is based on an IP. Okay, so it has a very strong IP. It has clients. It has followers. But it's not really sure what the products are. So you don't know what you sell, but you know that whatever you sell, people will buy. And that's exactly what happened to us. We sold NFT collections as membership, like VIP pass. We sold islands in the metaverse, villas. We're going to sell Penthouse. Then we're going to do another NFT collection. And we have repeat buyers. We have a 60% repeat buyer rate on our collections. And we have hundreds of thousands of followers on different social media platforms. So that's, you know, you will see more and more brands born in the metaverse, born in Web3, which are becoming the next big IPs. And you will see a lot of consolidation, more and more work, more and more collaborations between traditional luxury brands. And all these IPs were really born on the fringe of this huge movement, which we are all witnessing at the moment, which is Web3. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Nobody has any questions. I totally understood all that.
Yeah.
Questions?
I got a mic.
Sure.
So probably everybody's thinking this, but I'm so curious, what's your relationship with our fine hosts who build things? And In your world, we don't need to build things except
Yeah.
digitally. So I'm curious.
So, very good question. What I showed is not going to replace anything. It's just a very harmonious addition to the brand to a brand architecture. Okay, so the retail will never die. Products, craftsmanship will always be there. It's never going to change. We're just adding a new layer of experience and engagement and commerce into the arsenal of every single brand. Then when it comes to the metaverse, what you saw, what we built, we worked with agencies. A lot of them come from the video game developer world, but we see more and more design studios, architectural firms, which are basically developing amazing designs without limits. There's no time, the laws of physics do not apply, so you can really express the vision that you want, that you cannot do in the physical world. You can do it in a lot of platforms. And brands are going to, again, as I said, just assume that whatever is done in the physical world is going to be replicated in the digital world. It's going to be exactly the same. So brands are going to look for designers and architects and builders to build in different platforms and different metaverse.
So as a millennial, the first thing that comes to mind is I don't own in the physical world, and now I won't own in the meta world, it seems like. But who is your main consumer right now?
Yes, so very good question. Right now, the Web3 consumer, let's say people who buy our NFT collections are typical NFT collectors, so they are investors. They are looking for a return. Then within that community, you have so many different sub-communities. You have people interested in art, people interested in experiences, people interested in investment, like we have a lot of them, and people interested in digital fashion who don't want to buy with a crypto wallet and they just want to swipe their credit card, get their digital item.
But do you feel it's more about the investment or about the experience?
Right now, it's more about the investment linked to an experience. It's an easy answer, but why? Because if you look at the example of Adidas, so they dropped 30,000 NFTs back in September. They did $22 million in one day, selling all their NFTs, and it's a pass. So if you own the NFT, it was sold for 0.2 ETH, which is now if you want to sell it on the secondary market, it's like 1.2 ETH. So it already increased in value like 6 times. Okay, so as an owner of that NFT from Adidas, then you potentially got richer if you decide to sell it. But the most important thing is that it gives you access to a program that's limited, that's only accessible if you own the NFT. Limited edition, merchandising, products, events. So you benefit both ways, where you have access to things in the physical world that are only, we call that gated, they're only accessible to you if you have the NFT. You sell the NFT on the secondary market, you can make money, but then you lose access. And so it's this very unique moment in history where through the NFT technology, you have a completely different relationship with the brand. You can get rich, just like if you buy a stock, an LVMH stock, and it goes well and you can get rich this way, or but at the same time, you can be a VIP. It's like you're part of a VIP program. And all of that combined in one single transaction.
I have a question. So as it relates to real estate on the metaverse versus real estate in the physical world, I guess it's kind of unique to me. In the physical world, there's supply and demand, right? That drives the cost and the value of a property. In a metaverse, isn't the metaverse, the internet, just always growing, always getting bigger? So how do you really value property in the metaverse that seems to have infinite supply, I would imagine?
Yes. So we go back to my question, my rule. It's the same as in the physical world, And so Sandbox, Decentraland, most of these metaverse, they are blockchain based. When they sell a land, they tell you exactly how many lands are available to purchase from the get-go. So the Sandbox has 166,000 lands available. A lot of them, everything that was available for sale has already been sold back in like 2018, very cheap. Then their land price, the floor, so the floor means the cheapest price that an item is available to purchase. 3 months ago, the floor was maybe like $12,000 for like a piece of land in the middle of nowhere on the map of Sandbox. And now it went down. So they lost like half of the value of the land in the past few weeks. Offer and demand, supply and demand. That's the basics. If you have a metaverse that doesn't have a finite number of land, then it will not be able to drive value, because people will buy that land as an NFT only if it is perceived, if they know exactly how many, the total supply. Yeah. So in a sense, it's the same as in the physical world.
Wrap it up.
Alright. Alright, I can just yell.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested in your VIP utility token.
Mm-hmm.
What was your conversion strategy in terms of how did you, like, were you basically converting from your social or like, what was your conversion strategy?
Yeah, sure.
For the VIP token, and also did you define the criteria for it and what you got access to before, and did it change after?
Okay, so I'm just going to repeat the question, make sure everybody understood. So it's a question about the VIP program that we launched back in October at Exclusible, the 3,000 NFTs that we sold. Question one is how did we market that? How did we make people buy? And second question is did we change the roadmap? Like what's the roadmap after that? So for those of you who are in Web 2, branding, marketing, the way you basically sell things in Web3, so you sell a collection, has absolutely nothing to do with the standard DTC playbook or your marketing, digital marketing stack or strategy. First of all, Web3 lives on Discord and Twitter. Okay, so those are the two social media where only action happens. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, very limited action. We spent a lot of money in marketing, paid social, sponsored articles, influencer marketing, PR, like we did everything. We took the playbook, we spent everywhere. It didn't convert. What converted was Discord, because that's just how you market an NFT collection. Yeah. No, you can't. Exactly. So, yeah. So we started building, before we literally we raised money at the end of August. We spent the summer talking to investors and brands. And we opened our social media, Twitter and Discord. So we had literally a PowerPoint deck, and also we had a name and a logo, and that's all. But we started building our community. We had 12,000 followers on Discord by the time we launched that collection, and they absorbed everything.
Also, 100% of them were sold.
Yeah, in 48 hours. Yeah.
Thank you.